So let's talk about how you met faith. Like, what was the first encounter for you?
For me,
Yeah.
I mean, I was brought up in a Christian household. You know?
But was it?
But yeah, I got.
Did you have to believe that, or
yeah, look, I got
was there
very.
a search?
I got very. I'd say anti that. You know, like when I was a teenager, I had a short life expectancy. I think. You know, I was into some pretty stupid stuff, and you know, so.
Were you in fighting while you're doing
That sort of thing, yeah. You know, just being a tough idiot.
Okay.
And yeah, my mum died when I was 16. I remember I sort of went off the rails a bit after that. I just had a lot of anger, you know, and expressed that in bad ways, you know. And nothing I'm proud of now, I can tell you. You know, looking back, nothing I'm proud of. But maybe that's why, you know, when I see other kids sort of the same, I think, well, I've never met anyone worse than I was, you know. You know, other kids, they're angry, they're a bit lost, a bit confused, a bit all over the place. Yeah, fair enough. That was me too.
Once
I don't look down on anyone, you know, don't judge anyone. You know, if they're using whatever to deal with their pain, you know, okay, that's good. I was just lucky when I was that age there wasn't heroin around, I would have been using too.
You reckon?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah, what's that?
Mate, someone wants you.
I don't know, someone. Probably that's God warning us. I don't know what that was, but
someone doesn't love what we're
saying. But yeah, once those the youth do start to realise who you are, what your story's about, how you weren't always a priest and all that stuff. How do the kids react to you?
Mate, I don't. No one asks me about my story, you know. You do, but kids don't say, "Oh, Dad, what's your story?"
Yeah,
hey, Father, you know, how's it going, mate?
Yeah.
But the more important, the connection for me is with the boxing. You know, we get physical with each other, and I think that's like a real leveler. You know, like, I mean, I used to do this in the prisons. You know, well, wrestling particularly, teaching kids and that, and that's a intense environment. You know, we got juvenile prisons, you know, but there's some big boys in there and there's some tough boys, and every time, you know, you get to wrestle a new guy, he's going to try and break your neck, you know.
Trying to prove himself.
Yeah, of course. And then the thing is, then you flip him over, you get in the position where you could break his arm if you wanted to, but you don't, you know. And the point, I think there's a sort of light bulb goes on, because it's like, I think for a lot of these guys, they've always associated male authority with abuse, you know. Maybe it was their dad or their uncle or whoever. The only men they've known who've been more powerful than them have beaten on them, you know. And here you've got a bloke who actually, I was trying to hurt him, and now he's in a position, he hurt me, but he's actually not interested in doing that. And that's, all of a sudden they says, whoa, you know, relationship of trust that's there. And this is like in the prison environment, you know. And again, afterwards you find yourself, you know, the kids sort of sitting there next to you, oh mate, it just reminds me of the time with my brothers out the backyard, you know, all this stuff coming up.
Start remembering.
Yeah, but I used to say to the, you know, they have like in the juvie the more like social workers as well as just like guards and that, and they'd always say to them, look, I reckon I can build a trusting relationship here in about 5 minutes, when it maybe takes you about 5 months, you know.
Yeah, that's right.
Because
they're trying to connect.
We're just we're communicating in that very primitive language of fighting. You know, that's why I say I think fighting is not only one of the most fundamental forms of competition, it's one of the most fundamental forms of communication.
And it's embedded in a human being.
I think it's particularly in the male DNA, you know. I don't want to be sexist about it, you know, but mate,
you don't know what?
Look, I've been doing this now, running my fight club 30 years, you know, and the ratio has always been, say, 10 to 1. 10 boys for every girl, you know. And as I say, I've got 3 girls. I wish I could be more help for the girls, but the girls who come for a different reason. Most boys who come for a boxing club come because they're angry. They want to hit someone, or they're being hit on and they want to be able to hit back, you know. Most girls who take it up, they're interested in the sport maybe, you know. That's why a lot of the girls, mate, a lot of the girls stick with it. You know, back in the 90s, particularly when we were running that Get Off the Gear, Get Into the Ring program, you know, with a lot of the kids, we'd help them deal with their issues, you know, and they'd get off the gear and they'd lose interest in boxing. Okay, they don't want anything. You know, I had one guy say, you know, Dave, I don't think God wants me to hurt people anymore. You know, this guy had 3 straight knockouts. I said, yeah, mate, he does, you know.
So it's like fire burning out fire, like the fight. It's like you're releasing that energy to not be a fighter.
Yeah, look, I think a lot of guys take it up because they've got issues. You know, they've got issues, male ego issues, anger issues, whatever issues, you know what I mean?
Yeah.